Hey, buddy.
Podcast. I am Mike. That is Ryan. We are the dipshits of the evening.
What's up, dipshits? Welcome to the fucking Dumbfounded Dipshits Podcast.
We have a lot of things to cover today. We've actually done some research for once during this show.
A little bit.
We're going to be a little more organized. I'm going to post a little more too. Not more episodes live, but I'm going to cut up the episodes after they're done and add it to YouTube and the internets. We're going to drop them all over the internets.
Yep, we're going to be all over the fucking place.
Like a giant cum shot with no semen.
No, with no. Well, for you, no semen. For me, I still have my semen intact. That I wanted to ask you. I forgot. I totally fucking forgot to ask you.
Wait,
last Sunday.
My mic isn't on again. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, your mic is on. No, it it got crispy when you got real close, like before. So you cut out for a second, but I can hear you now.
They say I sound like shit. Is this what?
Well, you sound a little echoey. Sit back a little bit for a second.
What? This doesn't make sense.
Now you sounded.
This doesn't. Hold on. Hold on here. Where's my settings? Where's my?
Are you on a different microphone?
That's what
because usually, like, it's because you went to a different mic.
Oh my god! It never ends.
Is that better? It's probably much better.
Perfect.
Fucking bullshit. Fuck it. So
it switched your mic on you, right?
Yeah. It was fine in the beginning. Not the beginning. The beginning of when I was talking to you before, I think.
So now that the microphone thing interrupted our cheers to you. Clink.
Cheers. Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits Podcast. Start over. Because
Start over.
What I might start doing, by the way, only airing our official live once, and then cutting it down and then reposting.
Okay.
Makes sense. You only get one chance to watch us live.
Yeah,
that's a repost. So we cut out whatever babble shit we
all the fat. We just we take the podcast, I think, and we're just gonna put it on a keto diet for a little while, just so that it just trims down, gets a little bit more hype. You know what I mean? Is a little bit more streamlined, and then we'll put it through the flesh surgery, and then cut off all the extra flesh after that, I guess. But anyway, the thumbnail. This thumbnail is something else. I don't want to jump. But I'm fucking. I'm real proud of this with this thumbnail.
Okay. Hold on. We'll jump right into the first segment. So the dipshit of the week. We have two of them. If you want to announce the dipshits of the week.
Well, I mean, dipshit of the week number one, I think, is Kanye West, who's in the lead for dipshit of all time. I think him and Joe Biden are neck and neck in this race, but I think we've mentioned Kanye the most in the last year, if not. I know
what happened? I don't understand. Let me watch a video. What happened here? What happened?
He's getting head on a boat, bro.
Was he really getting head on a boat though?
Yeah, bro. You see his ass crack and everything.
Yeah, but but why? Like, why that? Oh, yeah. I mean, that's plainly. But why?
That's the end, bro. There's better shots.
Like,
look at his butt. Look at his butt.
But you're Kanye West. You can get like a private yacht and do this. Why do you do it? Why is this dipshit doing it like there?
Because you can. Because he can. She made her finish him off inside the boat.
So there's better pictures of this. Let me see. Well, the background we have is the best. There it is. But like, I don't know. Her mouth looks a little too like.
Maybe she gives a very neat blowjob, Mike.
You understand what I'm saying, right? Like, her mouth doesn't really look like it would be.
She probably didn't work up the good spit yet. What I'm saying is, like, she probably just didn't put it to the back of her throat. She probably just kissed the tip a little bit and then popped up and was like, "Oh, people looking," you know.
I mean, I would get a BJ on a boat, but I'm just saying, like it's not, like, this is not, I guess, incognito. Like, bro, I mean, look, his ass is out here, and she's looking the other way. Oh, is she about to blow that guy too?
Well, he probably paid them to keep their fucking mouth shut. I'm saying, if you got that kind of money, you could just do whatever the fuck you want when it comes to that. You could just
guess.
Get a blowjob in Italy on the fucking. Where is he? In Venice? Where the fuck is he?
I don't know. Where? during an Italian boat ride, so it doesn't.
And just for the listeners and the viewers, Dipshit of the Week isn't necessarily a moniker that's good or bad. It's not, like
it's just someone caught doing some dipshittery.
shit. Yeah, it's just
dipshittery.
It's some dipshittery. It's just not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying Kanye doing it, being such a public figure, might be a little bit voyeuristic. I think, right? Would you say?
I guess, but like,
take a look at everybody knows it's him, dude. He wears a mask and a hood everywhere. Everybody knows it's him. You could tell Kanye by this.
That's funny, right? Like, I don't think, who knows who that is? It might be Kanye. I don't know. How can you tell it's Kanye? I looked at him once.
He's the only person because he's the only person who would get fucking like a blowjob in the middle of the summer with a winter jacket on.
That's funny. Yeah, I guess.
Listen. He was walking around last year in a full-on puffy coat, and it was like July.
Well, I mean, he's almost in like winter clothes in this thing too. In this shot,
yeah.
Look,
I mean, I know they're not like it's not like Florida weather. You know what I mean? Which like I don't think it's been below 90 degrees in 3 months.
Yeah,
in the state of Florida, and where I am in South Florida at least, maybe up north where they get the hurricane now.
Weird. What happened here? Okay.
Just as a public service announcement, I'm wearing white today because Labor Day is on Monday, and
it's the end of wearing white, which is complete bullshit.
So I'm
that's
spoiling
nonsense.
my whites. I'm soiling my whites.
Fucking nonsense. You're speaking nonsense.
It's a bullshit rule. I know it's a bullshit rule, but
isn't this like 100th anniversary for Kanye West being dipshit of the week?
He's unofficial because I didn't really keep account. It just feels like that. We've
had so many Kanye episodes because he's done so many ridiculous things. But you said it was a tie between Kanye and
Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is at the 100 mark as well. I think we had him Dipshit of the Week probably just about as often.
So, my father was telling me how Joe Biden embarrassed himself today. He was giving a speech and he messed up the speech today. I can't find any articles about it today.
No,
but just Google searching him messing up, and it's like January and then September and April and December and March.
It's a great. Yeah, dude, you're gonna if you point in any direction
this guy's a dipshit.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't fucking freeze up, but Mitch McConnell freezed up again for 30 seconds when they asked him if he was going to run in 2026, and he didn't talk. He's stroking out, dude. Let's be honest.
He needs to get out.
Okay.
Senator, you're up for election in 3 short years. What are your thoughts on these?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
At this moment, he's like, I'm not even going to be fucking alive then. So I don't know why you're asking this fucking question.
I don't think he's there at all at this moment. I think
they all belong in retirement homes, okay? This guy belongs in a fucking Nancy Pelosi. What's the other one? Feinstein. They're all fucking older than dirt. Why do we have these fucking old-ass people running our government? With age comes knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
To an extent,
no, it doesn't.
This is the thing. And I think Heidelston, you probably heard us say this before, that I advocate, and Mike is even saying less. I'm saying 65 years old is the cutoff point for anybody running an offense. Over 60, you shouldn't be allowed to run. I agree with that. And Mike thinks it should be like 55, but I think 60, 65 is a good number to go, because the thing is,
too old.
Yeah, your wisdom might be there, but your ability to work, this isn't a physically taxing job, but it is a taxing job nonetheless to be a fucking politician, regardless of to be a criminal. It's fucking puts a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like,
Do you know how you fix corruption in politics? Do you know how you fix corruption in politics?
Get rid of the politics?
No. You pay them less. You make them like
that could also fucking make them more corrupt too, because that's going to make them. It's like a corrupt police officer. They don't get paid much, so they get
pay them less. You pay them less. In other words, you have to have an actual career besides being a politician. You can't be a career politician.
Well, they're supposed to. Yeah, I believe that too.
Okay, but then you also take care of them more, meaning like if you want them to go to Congress,
sick retirement, like entice them to retire.
Not even that, but like you're gonna even on their salaries now, they can't afford apartments near Congress by the Capitol. They can't afford it; it's too expensive.
Yes.
So you should provide them with that, but then you also pay them less. They're getting this for free. But here's the thing. Here's where I was originally going with. To solve corruption in politics is if someone is caught being corrupt, whether it's the smallest amount of corruption, you fucking kill them. How about that? You fucking kill them.
The thing is,
but no, I don't mean murder them. I don't mean you do it legally through the legal system, whether they get life in jail or they get executed.
No, I know. I mean, but listen, that is a policy that actually
you passed a law that caused these people to die, but you made money off of it. But all these people died, but you made millions. Guess what? Now you're dead.
That is actually how they do it in some other countries. But the thing is that itself can be corrupted and used as a weapon. It is often weaponized. And it is like, for example, like let's just say somebody like Saddam Hussein, who just like, well, I'm the boss now, so I could just pick whoever I want, any dissidents, and you're all just going to
go, oh, you looked at me the wrong way, so now I'm going to kill you. No, it's like you made a deal.
Yes, but typically that's
the lives of American citizens, but you benefited from this.
Yes.
Now you go to jail for the rest of your life.
Well, listen, look at it this way.
We're way too lenient on these criminals.
Hold on now. That's true, right? I believe that as well. But you got to look at it this way. They do sort of do that, but they use, like you said, oh, well, they should use this new written law, this legality that you're saying, this execution proposition. You're saying that if they imply that, right, that it's going to be a law that will be passed that says that if you fuck around, you find out, right? So now
that's the perfect name for the law. The fuck around and find out law.
Yes, that would be what the bill. They'll call it the fuck around and find out bill. But this is the thing. Now what happens is that now you have a tool that government could use to take care of what they think corruption. But the thing is, as they see fit. So if they are corrupted themselves, they can themselves use that to gain power. So like I'm saying, right now, we have that going on right now. Right now, let's look at it this way. You got a lot of people who are like, Trump is dangerous. A lot of people who are like, Trump is good for us. And the people who are like, Trump is dangerous is they're using legalities and statutes to bring him in, on charges in Georgia, along with all the rest of his staff on the election.
I don't think anything's going to stick. I think they're just trying to screw up his campaign because he's literally the front runner right now with the Republicans. Yes. Can you believe that?
That's my point. Of course he is, but that's my point, right? My point is they're using it to stunt his ability to run. You understand?
But it's not. They're making him more popular because they keep his name out there.
Yes, I agree with you with that. But what I'm saying is, hear me. They are already using law that's implemented to do other things, to do what they want to do to stop him from running. So it's like if you have these laws that say that you will be executed if you fuck around and find out, right? Eventually, maybe not now, 2 or 3 presidents from now, somebody's going to abuse.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And now say, yes, I see what you're saying.
Somebody will. It means good. It means well, and people will stay in check for a couple of maybe one generation. But then eventually somebody will use the loophole because that's what law is. That's what learning how to manipulate the law. Like lawyers learn how to manipulate. It's
not about what the truth is. It's about what you can prove.
What you can prove and the proof that you have.
Convince the jury. Now, I laugh at this whole Trump situation because I'm not a Trump supporter, but I am not a Trump supporter, if that makes any sense. I didn't vote for the guy.
Still entertaining. It's still very entertaining.
I didn't vote for the guy. I usually vote for the independents, the independent party, Gary Johnson. However, I do laugh at how these people that are supposed to be running this country, or they're smart, they're supposed to be smarter than us, are creating this witch hunt and going after Trump. But while Trump was the president at the end of the election and he lost, he said, I've been cheated. It's going to be a witch hunt. They're coming after me. And now he's just being proven correct. It's appearing now that he was correct. Whether he's broke the law or not, and they're actually going after him because he broke the law. That remains to be seen.
He's
However,
definitely correct. He's definitely
he's
correct
made
that,
it appear,
that they're coming after him.
Excuse me, they made it appear that he was correct. Like it's
they're sort of proving him right, and that's not something that you want to do to somebody who you're trying not to for them to gain favor.
Yes.
Now, if it doesn't stick, like you said, Mike, you know what's going to piss me off? The amount of money that the state of Georgia wasted on bringing all of these fucking people in. The amount of resources that if they do not, I think it's utterly fucking retarded if anything
Giuliani,
sticks.
didn't they?
But on the other side, if they do not at least get something come to fruition with all these charges thrown at all these people, like if Trump gets off but somebody else doesn't go away, like I'm gonna be like, and zero people do, it's gonna be like a major waste of fucking resources, a major fucking waste of resources that the state of Georgia could have fucking pointed in other directions other than going on this witch hunt. You know what I mean?
And I just wanted to say, welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits Podcast, where we have a topic and we play a video. We actually stop the video before what we're actually discussing gets shown, and completely break off and talk about something else.
Don't lie, Mitch McConnell has been frozen this whole fucking time, dude. That's how long he froze for. He's been frozen for 4 fucking minutes.
Oh, we gotta play this. Let's see. We gotta finish the video.
See, he's still frozen.
Man. I feel bad. Like
he's stroking, bro.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for? Did you hear the question?
Hold on. Let's see this. Oh my God!
That's
What did he say?
About what?
Running for re-election.
He said something.
He's remembering his tricycle, his red tricycle from childhood. Right now, he's somewhere else.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026.
Stop it. She had to stick a finger. She had to stick a finger in his asshole to see if he was still alive. Did you see that? Yeah. He woke up. He moved his eyes. You see when he moved his eyes? That's it. That's at the moment of insertion. He's like, oh.
I love how his handler, the person who really makes the calls, had to go up to him and go, "Are you okay, Senator? Senator, did you hear the question?" Oh, she's looking at her face too. She's definitely deep in that asshole.
Yeah.
She's enjoying it too.
She's definitely up in that fucking motherfucker.
Hold on. What did she say?
Well, we're gonna need a minute.
She winked.
Senator Vinny.
Who the fuck is Vinny? Hey, that's Vinny. This is bad. This is bad. What the fuck? Why? Okay. So, this is
really bad.
I feel bad for this man.
Yeah, but the thing is, you reap what you sow, dude.
You know, I get that too, but I never liked Mitch McConnell.
It's sad to see it. It is very sad to see it.
When it gets to this point, you need to get the fuck. Why are we allowing this?
And I don't mean you reap what you sow like he did anything bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like you wanted this power for so long. This is what's going to happen. If you people who do not retire die at work. Let's just simple as it is. And nobody wants to see it. Like to give the world a view of us like a facade that we are a vision of vitality and power, and we're a young country because we are a young fucking country. You need to have a representation of that. We're not a country of fucking 80-year-olds. We're a country of actually like 35 to 55-year-olds. And that really is who the president should be. Somebody between the ages of 35 and 55.
35 is a little young in my opinion.
50 is a good age. 45, 50 is a good age. I think that's golden years.
What happened to Andrew Yang? What happened to Andrew Yang?
Listen, he dipped out quick. He was like, he was smart. He got out of politics because he's not somebody who should be in. Not that I didn't think he would be a good politician. It's because
he's too much not like a politician. He's too human, if that makes sense. Like at first I was like, oh, this guy's just a socialist. But then you actually listen to him and I'm like, he's not. No, and it makes sense. Like the universal basic income makes sense, and it'll boost the economy.
He has a logic about him. And it's some of it is commonsensical in a way, but a lot of it is sort of like complex like the effort is being put in to solve a problem, even though like it's far-fetched and may not even really work, but at least it's effort to try to let's solve a problem. Because the reason why he's not in it is because he's talking about trying to solve problems instead of furthering other issues. Because that's usually what politicians
back to this Mitch McConnell thing. Does he just walk off stage or what happens here? Let's see.
I think they guide him off. They like sort of
Okay.
Somebody else have
awkward.
a question? Please speak up.
We're on a path to finishing the NDA.
Is this another time he does this?
This is the first time.
This week.
This is
It's
the
been
first
good bipartisan.
I don't think I ever saw this
cooperation
either.
And a string of
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, bro.
He's so
So old. It is what it
it's
is.
not.
You know, this is the
it's
thing.
Kind of like criminal.
You're not
That's
hearing
it.
any. You're not hearing any liberals bitch about this because they all voted for Biden, and Biden, I think, is slightly older than him, right? By like a year or
Biden's
two.
80 something, isn't he?
Yeah, and Mitch McConnell just turned 80, I think. Right? Or
Find out. Biden is 80 years old.
oh, so
Right.
then Biden just turned 80. Then that's what it is. Maybe he might
Mitch
be older.
McConnell is 81.
Yeah. So
What
I mean,
the fuck are they doing in politics? When my grandmother was 81, okay, I listened to her stories, but I just listened. Okay, I didn't. It's not like she's 81. My grandmother, when she was 81, I would hear stories about like the Depression and like talking about when she drove her car, which was like a 1971 Chevy Nova. Like, this is not someone you want making decisions for the country.
well, this is
It
my
doesn't
argument to that. It gets a little bit more complicated than that, but this is now check this out, right? Think about this. How many 80-year-olds do you know that are still working full time? I don't mean as a greeter at fucking Walmart.
That I know.
I
that are
don't
working
mean like
full-time.
I don't mean like teaching piano lessons. I mean that are working full time in a full time career that demands more than 40 hours a week from you. How many 80-year-olds? Tell me.
Zero.
Zero. I know one, and that's my accountant, and that's because he literally is just a decision maker. He has an assistant who runs all the fucking paperwork for him. So this is the thing. Like
I
this is the
changed
thing.
what I just said.
He's the only one out of many.
I remember now.
But,
Okay. Well,
but Congress is full of them,
yes.
and so is the Senate.
100% full of them. So now I remember when I worked in pest control, I would exterminate a person's house, and they were a doctor, but their doctor office was in their house. Like, there was the old school kind of way of doing it.
Old school, yeah, that's
So,
old school, yeah.
I didn't know who the doctor was, but there was a family that lived there. It was like, husband, wife, father or grandfather. I don't know who he was, but he was wheelchair bound and this and that. So the guy, the oldest, passed away. I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She's, "Yeah, we have to close the doctor's office that are apart in the house because he was the doctor and there's no doctor here now." I'm like,
Yeah.
he was seeing patients? Yeah, he never stopped. He was drooling on himself and couldn't say hello to me.
You always seen that was back in the day. That shit used to happen all the time. My mom took me to a doctor, and then we immediately switched. Because
if you're
my
the
doctor moved his practice, but he was one of those guys who did it out of his house. And it
Was he
the
100
same
years
thing.
old? He was 100 years old?
I feel like he was old to me, but he might have been 70.
This guy was like 100
years.
years. This guy was shitting his pants. You shouldn't be shitting your pants and a doctor.
Yo, the doctor, you're going to your doctor's visit, and you're like, the doctor will see you now. And you walk into the room, and you think you're in a hospital room. It's just some dude hooked up to a fucking life support system, and there's like a bedpan, and you're like, wait, I'm in the wrong room, nurse. Like, no, this is the right room. That's the doctor, and be like, he's like,
What are your symptoms?
turn your head and cough.
This is not even funny. We're not making fun of the elderly. We're just saying they should be taken care of and not taking care of a country.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there should be like and this sounds sort of welfare-ish, but like some sort of like mandatory retirement age where you like, I mean, listen, you know what? Like, especially if you've worked, and I know that there are definitely like a lot of programs out there, especially for like people who are like in the military, but like they're, like if if employers, for the most part, did the right thing more than 60% of the time, because I feel like there are really good employers out there, but I feel like it's 50-50. I feel like half the people who employ people suck, and the other half the people who employ people are pretty decent, if not really great, right? But still, it's offset so much. I think if it was more than 60% of the employers out there took care of their employees and made it possible for them to retire with them, give them 20 to 25 plus years of good working years, and that people were able to retire on some, or at least retire and then maybe do a part-time job, not be a full-ass fucking doctor, you know, or a politician for that matter. And that goes to what you're saying about getting hooked up. Like, politicians not getting paid that much, but you know what I mean? Like getting hooked up, like in some sort of incentive kind of way.
So I have a random video I found on the internet that I thought was funny. And I'm going to play it, and you can react to it. Here we go. These are among the most exclusive and highly trained nannies in the world.
Au pairs, nannies.
What happened? My screen just died. Wow. There we go. What's happening here? There's no
One of
volume.
the most exclusive and highly trained nannies in the world.
Hey now.
They learn self-defense and advanced driving techniques.
Oh, shit. Oh,
And
shit.
even their cooking.
Those nannies can drift.
I'm impressed, bro. I'm impressed. I like a Krav Maga nanny. I think I might be into that shit.
So they can drift. They can drive.
Us above.
We're sort of training a league of super nannies.
Think Mary Poppins with a little James Bond.
Wow.
The course at Norland College in England cost them.
Of course it's England. Of course it's England. I'm
But
not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that as a good
these
thing.
are some. They are definitely, because the traditional British nanny isn't typically rough and tumble like what they're showing at the beginning of this, though.
I don't know, but okay.
Like
So-
Mary Poppins isn't fucking like Suburban Commando. You know what I mean?
Okay, it's not. Hold on. Let me get this in the big screen here. It's not Mary Poppins. Okay, it's not Mary Poppins. Okay, it's Mary. I don't know. Poppins. Doesn't she jump down with a fucking umbrella or some
But
shit?
just check it out. Like, I'm just saying this. Like I live in Coconut Creek. There's a lot of fucking people train around here. I would definitely, if I had a kid, I would definitely like in the resume of said babysitter or said nanny, it would have to be like jujitsu and kickboxing a must, or any sort of combat martial arts, knife fighting preferably.
Jesus, the course they're taking costs $21,000.
$21,000 a year. But after graduation, they can command salaries of $170,000.
Well, yeah, they know how to drift and cook. If someone knows how to drift and cook, they should get
Pay
paid.
more.
But can they shoot?
That's 4 times the average nanny salary
I don't
in
think
the
they don't
UK.
have firearms.
Hold
in
on,
England.
Pervert time. Which one's the cutest? I think this one.
One in the middle. Yes. Yeah. On the right hand side.
Right.
I mean,
Maybe
I
don't know.
On the side, the left side, I think so too. I think the one on the right looks a little like,
This
I
one.
don't know. The one on, no, thank you. But
Yeah.
probably the one right next to her, and then the one on the far left.
They all just
definitely-
look like basic white chicks.
The
No
average
offense.
nanny
No offense. It's okay being basic.
salary in the UK.
They look very British though.
Britain's royal family has even hired them. So, what does it take to become one of the most exclusive nannies in the world?
A lot of money, apparently.
Trained to protect themselves and the children in their care.
That video just made me laugh because if I'm trying to steal that baby, I'm not just
Trained
pushing you. I'm stabbing you 16 times and taking the baby.
Well, may give them some time. They'll get to that. This could be
to
like
protect themselves.
the
Maybe.
early class. This is carriage fighting 101. So right now, they haven't gotten to knife fighting yet. They haven't gotten to the knife combat fighting.
And the children in their care. Norland nannies are part of an elite. Often working for high-profile employers,
Cheers.
they're expected to deal with potential threats.
Oh,
like
you got the baby.
kidnapping.
They fingered the baby's eyes.
She just smushed the kid's head.
Yeah, that nanny would have lost.
Unfortunately, I have had an experience where a man tried to take the little girl that I used to look after. I said, "You need to give her back," and he said, "No," and so I just had to pull her off of him whilst holding on to the bike.
If the baby got to the point where it was in that man's arms, you already failed at your job.
Do you believe her?
Where her baby
What?
Do you believe her?
No, not at all.
brother was.
Right before they press record, they go, "Here, make up a story." Okay, no problem.
It is scary, but that's why
I'm sorry. I'm trained, not to brag, but that's not how you teach her how to throw an elbow. I mean, the palm is out. That's the right thing. You want to throw it with your palm out.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think like wouldn't you want to approach like nannies? Like, hey, listen, you know what? I got a little bit of a fucking complaint here. You want to hear something? You know what grinds my gears about this? Not one fucking dude. Like, if you want a combat nanny, wouldn't you want like a guy? Wouldn't you want like, yo? Do you remember
Royal Navy?
That's what I'm saying. SAS. You know, like you know what's MI6, whatever, fucking 007.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, do you remember that movie, Denzel Washington classic? Do you remember the one with him and fucking what's her name?
What's it called?
Something fire, something under
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire.
Man
with Dakota Fanning.
Okay. Yes, great movie. But
he was the best nanny. He was the best fucking
they didn't
nanny.
know that though.
What about that movie? What about that movie with Vin Diesel? You remember that movie with Vin Diesel? He turned out to be a great fucking nanny. Do you remember
the movie with Vin Diesel?
The one with Vin Diesel, the Disney movie with Vin Diesel, where he's the Navy SEAL guy who takes care of kids.
The Pacifier? Are you talking about the Pacifier?
The Pacifier. What about
Jesus Christ,
Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan? A fucking classic.
Yeah, that's a classic. Come on, that's yes.
Listen, wouldn't you want like, I mean, really, like Keanu Reeves to be your nanny?
Yes.
John Wick is your fucking nanny?
Yes, because
really
look
fucking
what
shoot.
Keanu Reeves did after they took his dog. They didn't even kill the kid he was babysitting. The kid didn't die. Imagine
a kid died on his watch. Dude, he would have been Thanos. He would have taken on the Marvel universe. Like, he would have just been like John Wick versus the Marvel universe.
Wow.
I think parents hire Norlanders because we are given that extensive training for these worst case scenarios, because actually the big wide world is very scary and you are looking after their most prized.
You live on a small island in Europe.
I'm very charmed by the hat and the accent. I'm sorry. I just like the combination for some reason.
Oh, so I'm in all those Facebook paranormal groups, and I'm in a couple of Facebook paranormal chats. And most people in these groups with the paranormal exiles, where we moderate, anyway, most of them are from England. So we were discussing things.
They love it there. They fucking love this shit there.
They're like, none of us know what each of us sound like. So let's all record a short bit of dialogue so we can each hear what we sound like.
Okay.
And they're all older than me. They're in there probably, some of them are 50s, 60s, whatever. So they all have these proper English voices because they're all from England. And I'm over there. I literally said yeah, I feel like a fucking idiot because now the guy from New York is gonna sit here and talk, and you're all with like accents and shit.
You almost want to lean into it more. Like, that's how when people when
I definitely leaned into it more. I hit them with I had to, and then someone commented going, "It's a great accent. We love it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you guys pronounce like I don't know."
Mike? Do you remember in Gangs in New York how
great movie?
Where Daniel Day-Lewis, do you remember how he sounded?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you know that was an accent that wasn't formed from what people think it was formed from? Like, a lot of people think which it was peppered with Italians with, Beth 420, what up? Long time no smoky. Maybe I'll light one up for Beth. So check this out, right? It's from an English accent that came over here from the part of Britain, and it was like Dutch and English, like the way the Dutch spoke English. the way the Dutch spoke English and the English settlers, right, together made that accent first. So there were actually people, because what happened was there were a lot of Irish immigrants too and Scotch immigrants who came, and they just sort of added to it. And then you had the turn of the century, 1900s, where the Italians and the Jews spiked more into it, more Irish influence, more like African American influence from people coming up from the
The
South.
last time I researched,
And then
New York
recently,
accent,
Latino, like Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican, just like sort of getting thrown in there with the English. And that's why people from New York sound like they're from fucking New York. But the New York thing, well, you see how like Bill the Butcher, New York, that was an accent that was around in England that came over here from there. From Dutch people who moved to England and then moved here during the whole spread of colonialism.
I'm dying. I was gonna say last time I researched the Brooklyn accent, not the New York, because New York it has an accent too, but like the Brooklyn accent.
Brooklyn.
Where did the Brooklyn accent come from? And the Brooklyn accent, it was the Dutch mixed with the English, as like you said,
German and the Germans,
and
that were
then
speaking English.
they had a specific dialect, and then the Jews came over. I don't know if you could say Jews if that's the proper way, but whatever.
The Jews.
The Jewish people came over, and they added a little more slang to it as well. So the actual Brooklyn accent that you hear like the Italians use, or even mixed breeds like myself, is a mix of like the Dutch accent with the English accent and the Jewish accent.
Yeah, and
Which
like I
makes
said,
sense.
it gets peppered in with other things too. Like I said, and the Italians contributed to it, and so did the Irish contributed to it, and so did the Puerto Ricans contributed to it. Like everybody contributed to it. Like everybody threw a little bit of something in there. You know what I mean? And the thing is too, like, you know, and there was a lot of fucking Ebonics thrown into it. And like, I want to say, like, definitely from the 60s on in New York City because of music. You know what I mean? Because of fucking rock music and hip hop and all sorts of shit, jazz. You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of vernacular from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s during the Prohibition era, while people were going to speakeasies. A lot of that fast talking. See, like when people were talking like that all over. You know, it's just now in New York, it's just like a little bit slowed down. So the thing is
it slowed down though? Because if you go to New Yorkers, they talk fast, but it's also they don't pronounce all the words, like all the letters. Like it's like
you get lazy. It's lazy.
Yeah,
There's
it's not New York.
The door.
I even came and say it. I said it the wrong way. I try to say it the right way. I said the wrong way.
You walk into the fucking house and you leave the fucking door open. I told you, shut the fucking door. We don't live in a bond. Just shut the fucking door, okay?
The bond's like that's fucking Boston.
It's not Boston. It's Irish. It's not Boston. It's Irish because you could get people from Long Island who do that too.
Basically, places just Ireland.
If you're from Long Island, and then you could really drag it out because I'm from Hempstead, Long Island, and you can really drag it out and talk like because you're not from the city, so you take it a little easier. I don't go into the city. My whole life, I've been to the city 3 times. I'm 47 years old. I'm from Hempstead. I don't leave Hempstead. I've been to Islip a couple of times. I've been to Ronkonkoma.
I don't know what you mean. I take the D train into Manhattan, as I call it. We don't call it Manhattan, though. We call it the city.
No, I get on a
Manhattan. If you call Manhattan, Manhattan, you're not a New Yorker. You call Manhattan the city. Anywhere else is a borough, but the city's the city. The city's Manhattan.
I take the F train, I take the D train, I take the B train, I take the Q train, I take the N train, and then I transfer to the R train. I take the R train to fucking where the fuck do you go? You go to fucking.
Have a good night. I don't know. That was a bad accent. What I just did, I don't know what the fuck that was. I tried too hard. I just fucking go with it because it's an accent I fucking live by. I'm very curious how they're gonna do a Brooklyn accent in this video.
There are so many different types of people who live in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is an amazing place because of that. So we're going to go for a very
Yes, Brooklyn has many different people, but you're not from Brooklyn unless you're from Brooklyn. I mean, you have to know what that means. I don't even know what that means, though.
You got to give an address.
So you put your lip corners really far.
Wow. Hold on, she went right into it. You heard that?
Yeah, that was good because she's from
Amazing place
Brooklyn.
because of that. So we're gonna go for a very stereotypical general Brooklyn accent,
your
just to give
lip-
you a flavor.
Put your lip corners.
So
really-
you put your lip corners really far forward, and it's a very urban sound. You see in my oral posture that my lips are doing a lot of the work. It's also fun to
Wow.
notice that the Brooklyn accent, where your lip corners are very far forward, is also very similar to that urban London sound, that Cockney sound. So, souls due to study law. You'll notice that it's a very similar shape in the mouth. Let's look at some sound changes for the Brooklyn accent. So there are no R's at the ends of some words. So like there, player, flatter become
player.
there, player,
Player.
flatter. And the
Flatter.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I feel attacked. I mean,
What's
it's
the
true.
matter?
It's
What's
true.
the matter?
It's true.
What's the
It's
matter?
true.
What's
It's like New York. It's New York.
New York. Listen. What's the matter? It could be better.
It could have no batter.
aw sound in thought, dog, and law become a diphthong. So they become a 2-element sound for thought, dog, law. Sometimes
Dog. I don't
Dog.
sound like that anymore. I
A
watched
dog.
a video of me. It's a film I shot when I was like 10 years old, 11 years old, or maybe 12. But I sound like a fucking guinea from Bensonhurst. I sound
Because
like
you,
that.
Mike.
Because
you were in the street all of the fucking time.
Yes, I grew up in
That's
Brooklyn,
why.
and that's how I sounded. I was like,
You
I
want to know how
I
you're
give it
from
now,
Brooklyn?
and I don't
Do you
recognize
wanna
no
know
fuck unless I
do you
get
want-
mad, and then
Mike, do you want to know how you know you're from Brooklyn? You know you're from Brooklyn if you grew up in a fucking street. I grew up in the street. The street.
yo,
That's where I was.
I played
95%
fucking
of the
manhunt
times.
with the kids in the neighborhood till fucking 11 o'clock at night. No one's out at 11 o'clock at night.
Until
Brooklyn,
you got
in the white
yelled at.
suburbia.
Until your mom was
Really
hanging
white
out the window. Your mom was hanging out the window because she'd not. If your dad had to hang out the window, it was a wrap. You were getting fucking whooped. But your mom would hang out the window and fucking yell at you.
And you know what?
And dude, the projection that my mom, she was like all of but 5'3", 5'4". I lived in a house on the beginning of the block. I'd be on the end of the block. I heard my mom like 1,000 feet away, past all the trees and all the cars parked on the fucking block. I'd hear my mom 5 fire hydrants away, because you measure by fire hydrants and you're going up the block playing stickball. 5 fire hydrants away, I would hear my mother, get back to the fucking.
And you
It was
know
like
what?
9 o'clock at night. The
I
lights
never
were on.
fucking wore shoes. I never wore shoes. I played manhunt and tag barefoot.
I knew
Barefoot
my
all the fucking
brother
time.
did. I didn't do that because I was too fat to do that. But my brother
No,
did
I
that
would-
shit.
And no one would catch me, and they would fucking hate me. They would fucking hate me. I'm like, you could beat me up because you're bigger than me, but you can't fucking catch me. Good luck trying to fucking catch me. What is this?
Hiddleston, the Warriors take the B train. That's the train that they have to take to get home back to Coney Island in the Warriors. If that was a trivia question.
Warriors, come out and play. How's the end go? Oh, damn, you guys are good, and you're the best, or something, right? Something like
Yeah,
that.
we're the best.
It was
that
that's
movie
just
was
a
great.
great movie.
I
Great
love that
movie.
movie.
The guy who did
And you take it. Everybody fucking starts cheering.
who
And
did
they kill him.
Hamilton.
And they kill him.
The guy who did Hamilton's doing the Warriors on Broadway.
I'd go to see that.
Me too.
I would go to see that.
New
I
York
would go to see
classic.
that.
You're
Yeah.
only true New Yorkers respect that film.
I would go. I love that fucking movie. I love it. I love how bad it is too. Like bad, and when I mean bad, it's like they didn't have the resources to make something, but they still made it epic
And not even that.
with what they fucking had.
Yes, and I like how the story is. They don't let you forget that even though you're rooting for these guys, they're still a gang.
Yeah,
They're not
I
necessarily
mean,
good guys.
wait, do you know
But-
what's awesome about that? Because gang is up to your interpretation. Nobody knows
No, but, like-
who's into what. Okay, all you know is that some of these people are violent against each other, and for some reason, there's nothing wrong with that because we don't know if they're selling drugs. We don't know. We know that the Lizzies might be hookers. We know that the Lizzies might be hookers. That's
Well,
all
the
we
guy,
know.
and we know one of the members of the Warriors is a rapist.
And that one guy, but not everybody in your crew is going to be a good guy, and you know that.
Well,
You know that in
that's
real life.
The scene.
Not-
He was a
not-
rapist. Like that, when I
not
first saw
one
that
guy-
movie, that kind of it didn't turn me off. It just made me go, huh? Like I guess they're not. I mean, but there's always that's the oldest story in the book, the story of Judas. It's the oldest. There's always one of one of the good is bad, or one of the group is going to betray you.
That story is always a good like source material that people reuse for other things. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? Like even Lord of the Rings, you know, like has its like I think Tolkien wrote it because of World War I, right? For whatever reason, but it has its characters that you pull from all sorts of other stories. And that's an archetype that's sort of true philosophy wise. Like you got to sort of fucking take that lesson for what that is, because it's sort of true.
Finish this fucking video of this
Sometimes
accent.
that TH sound, thin, thick, this, that, become very dentalized. So it's thin, thick, this, that. So you hear those hard, flat sounds at the back of the teeth.
I really feel
thin,
attacked.
Thick, this, that.
I don't know about that.
Start to hear the musicality.
No, not really attacked. It's just funny. It's funny hearing it.
Well, I don't know if I do that. I don't know if I because people tell me I sound like that, but then sometimes like if I'm not worked up, like I get worked up for the podcast, so it might come up for the podcast. But if I'm like in my docile, like I haven't had my morning coffee yet, I might not sound like I'm from New York.
Like you said, we grew up in the streets, and not streets like gangbanging, but you know what I mean, streets.
See that?
We also are cultured. We're also cultured.
Yeah, because you meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of
when you meet a lot of people, and you travel too, your accent changes because you do pick up things here and there, and it gets stuck to you somehow. Like you hear it's like there's some words we might know that an average New Yorker wouldn't say because we're a little more cultured. And there's also words we don't know because.
But dude, we're talking about the Brooklyn accent, and the thing is, there are different accents. Like there's a Bronx accent. Yeah. People from Staten Island. I'm from.
That's because it's the Jersey shit. Because it's right. It's Jersey's asshole.
Because it's Jersey. Because it's like Jersey. Staten Island, Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. I'm from Staten Island. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Queens. I'm from the Bronx.
Are very dentalized, so they're very pushed up against the teeth. So Tony takes his time becomes Tony takes his time.
I would say like that. Tony takes his time.
It's Goodfellas. It sounds like Goodfellas. Yeah, that sounds like
there.
Goodfellas.
Tony takes his time, and Tony.
Yes, I can't say it the first way she says it. I can say it the second way.
Tony takes
I just say
time.
Tony like that. I say Tony. I don't know why.
Takes his time. The ST sound in stretch becomes stretch.
Shit, I say it the second way too. You said it the second way. Stretch.
I love that one. So what's the musicality of this general Brooklyn accent?
So what's the musicality of this general Brooklyn accent? Damn, I get.
Well, it's a very urban sound, like we'd said.
It's a very urban sound, like we said.
Got a lot of power to it. You use emphasis with volume.
You do. I don't do that though.
I do.
You definitely do. You definitely do.
I do emphasis
with, no, I do it. I do that because in the clip I edited with the boats.
Relative, yeah. Relative to your Mike, can I just say this as an observance of another person? Relative to your median volume, you do go up in volume when you do emphasis. I'm louder. I'm louder by nature, so I exponentially go up with the emphasis because that's just part of my flair. But
and less with pitch variety. But don't take my word for it. Go listen to some native Brooklyn speakers and let the accent reveal itself to you.
Interesting.
The thing is, it's sort of like because the Cockney accent, Cockney English, like it's something that could be like imitated. So the Brooklyn accent could be imitated too, but there are examples in pop culture so much. Like really, Brooklyn accent, somebody could literally do this. Now follow me. Watch Goodfellas, right? Listen to Beastie Boys, Biggie Smalls.
In Goodfellas,
and Jay-Z. Right, I'm not done yet. And then, right? And then watch My Cousin Vinny.
I was just gonna say that I was waiting to drop that. I was waiting to drop that.
There's another movie. There's 3 movies and 3 artists. hip hop, because it has to be hip hop because there's no voice in rock and roll well, actually, you can listen to Biohazard. Sounds very Brooklyn as far as like a rock band goes. But the thing is, like, they are sort of hip hopish because they're hardcore. But so hip hop, you have to go. And then the third movie is, I want to see, you could say The Warriors, but Warriors isn't like a Brooklyn. It's not like the Brooklyn accent movie. But in My Cousin Vinny, that's sort of a large part of that movie. But there is a third fucking movie. The third fucking movie. I want to say another De Niro classic, Raging Bull. Even though I think he was in the Bronx, Jake LaMotta, because just because of the way the dialogue went with the actors, and the actors who were playing them may not have necessarily been from the Bronx themselves. De Niro's from Lower Manhattan. I don't know where Joe Pesci's from, but you know what I mean.
Do you know what's a good one that was more recently? Not recent because it's an older movie now, but it's not that old. It's more Wolf of Wall Street, the Duchess of Brooklyn. She did a good. She nailed that.
Fantastic fucking job.
Right?
She's
fantastic
talented as
New York Brooklyn
Listen,
accent.
I like her as an actress. Besides the eye candy factor, she's like really good with like sort of changing her voice.
She's Harley Quinn. She's Harley Quinn. She's Harley Quinn.
But she was from Bay Ridge in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
and
I believed it. That's why
I believe she was Barbie. She's very convincing as a Barbie. She was convincing. I was convinced she was Barbie.
Kind of used the same accent in Barbie a little bit.
Yeah, because it's what's the cartoon Betty Boop? You know what I mean? Betty Boop was very Brooklyn too. You know what I mean? Like in a squeaky, like you know, like some kind of fucking singing annoying fucking bitch. Well, I mean, like, you know what? Believe it or not, can I TMI a little bit? In the 90s, I had a crush. You know what turned me on a little bit? But this is a Queens accent because she was from Flushing.
What?
Fran Drescher.
Okay, the nanny, the one who's currently leading the protest for the Screen Actors.
Listen, I don't. However you feel about her, I don't know. Like whatever. As far as
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying she's the head of the Screen Actors Guild now. You know that, right? She's the president of the Screen Actors Guild.
I know. She's really mad about all of this.
Okay.
She's fired up.
I too had a crush on the nanny.
I know. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
I think every kid around our age, from my age to your age, and maybe a little before and after, have somewhat of a crush on the nanny. I can call Pest right now and go, "Hey, did you have a crush on the nanny?" And he'd be like, "Hell yeah." I can call Peter. Hell yeah. Lou, I'm pretty sure it'd be hell yeah, but he's not very.
And back in the day, bro. Back in the day, she was packing in the back, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
and not only that, I also crushed a little bit on. I crushed a little on. Yeah, she's got a thick one for a gilf. Yo,
is she a gilf? How old is she?
Who was Chandler's girlfriend on Friends? You remember her? She was like a bootleg fucking Fran Drescher. She was also on Seinfeld. She was an actress that was on Seinfeld also.
How old is she? Where's your age? How old are you, Fran? How old do you think she is?
Fran Drescher's got to be like 59 to 63.
65.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
All right, so I was off by 2 years. I said 59 to 63. I was trying to be kind. I was trying to be nice. I don't want to put fucking like ages on people and shit like that. But I'm just saying, back in the day, crushing hard. And you know who else? Sarah Silverman.
Okay. Yes. I'm glad. It's like John Pest randomly comes.
Even now.
Yeah. Pest randomly comes up to me. Oh no, we were hanging. Maybe do an episode of Keeping It Blown, Mike and John. If you're watching now, you should go check that out. And he's sitting there and he's like, "Oh, what do you think about Sarah Silverman?" I'm like, "Yeah," because we were talking about like celebrities we would,
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Me too." And I'm like, "Yeah." First off, who else do you know can make you laugh hysterical as you're banging them?
Well, listen, that's not all, dude. I think I have like a Jew broad fetish. Just saying. I don't know.
Broad fetish. Well, she reminds me like I had a crush on Jennifer Connelly.
Okay, because listen, for me, I crushed on Jennifer Connelly because of The Labyrinth, because that was like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a fucking great movie.
epic kids movie back when I was a kid. Like that was like,
Yeah.
everybody flipped over that, and she was the star of that movie. Wait, hold on, she was in something else also around the same time.
Requiem for a Dream, but that
No,
wasn't.
that was way after. Fantastic movie. Look, dude. All right.
It's not.
Segue, sort of sidetracked a little bit, but segue. Could we, right now, give me only top two biggest give me three. Top three biggest fuck my life movies of all time.
Requiem for a Dream, Train Spotting, and Kids.
Train Spotting, not so much for me, but great movie. Kids, it's Requiem for a Dream for me. Kids, and Life is Hot in Cracktown. You ever see that?
Let me see. Life is Hot
In
yes,
Cracktown.
I have. Yes, I have.
Yes,
I have.
Yeah. The guy who played Superman. And
you know what that movie reminded me of? That other weird ass movie with Matt Dillon.
Also, The Whale. I think actually, Life is Hot in Cracktown. Notable, but The Whale moved into spot number 3. That I wanted to. Darren Aronofsky's good for that. That I think you could honestly say like he's going to make a movie.
Oh, it was. Wow.
Yeah. Well, so was Requiem. You know, like that's going to make you want to like, dude. Why am I alive?
So I like Train Spotting a lot, but where's the movie I'm looking for?
Train Spotting for like a. All right, Train Spotting for me is sort of like a Pulp Fiction kind of thing, to where it's like there is no happy ending, but at least like one of the heroes survives. You know what I mean?
There's a drug movie with Matt Dillon.
There might be more than one.
There's definitely more than one, but I don't remember it, and it was a pretty fucked up movie. But so was Crash. Crash was good, but
oh, dude, I mean. What's her name? Tilda Swinton, right? She was in the car, and he was the cop pulling her out at the end, right? He had to save her. Like, dude, you know what? Like, if anything, all right, I don't want to say makes a character redeemable because I don't feel like he's totally redeemable even still. But if anything, that movie was probably one of the movies that like humanized all the characters to a degree where everybody for some level or at some level for a second was relatable. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, fuck. Like everybody could relate with being the victim because everybody in their own ego makes themselves a victim at one point or another in their life. You know what I mean? People who are sociopaths are always the fucking victim, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. You know, you got to take some responsibility at some point. But I'm just saying, like, in that movie, I was like, oh, everybody has, like, a cut about them that's just, like, redeemable. You know what I mean? And that was a good movie. Crash. But you know how many different movies are called Crash?
Yeah, I know. And there's a show that's
a
based
lot.
on the movie
And a
or something
show.
like that.
Based on the concept of the movie. Like, if you made a TV show called Memento and every season was somebody working their way back, like 24, you know what I mean? Like, in that sense, maybe, you know? But I don't know, bro. Fucking. Ooh, yeah. It's getting smaller, bro. Everybody's going to have to start bunking up. This is what's going to happen.
So I think this breaks down to the same thing that the World Economic Forum was saying, which if there's ever an evil corporation, or I don't know if it's a corporation, if there's ever some kind of evil entity that exists, it's definitely them, because if you research them, they're the people that, you know, want to make no such thing as private property. Like everything's owned by the government.
Oh yeah, and you'll be happy. That's that dude,
yes,
right?
You will own nothing and you'll be happy. And
you'll own nothing and be happy.
So they're like, oh, bathtubs is a luxury. They want you to downsize your house,
Mike.
But hold on. Well, you know, I laugh about this.
I got a brand new toilet today, and don't worry, I was still able to use the toilet because I have another toilet. I have 2 toilets, but this is sort of goes with this. Like, maybe I don't need 2 toilets. But in the last 3 days, I needed 2 toilets. I needed 2 toilets. So your argument is moot because my ass will shoot either fucking way.
That's not my argument; it's their argument. But
I'm speaking to them, not to you,
Yes,
obviously,
yes.
Mike. Yeah.
So I love the opening of the article. It's goodbye bathtub and living room. America's homes are shrinking. Faced with high mortgage rates, cost-constrained Americans are embracing smaller homes. Embracing. They use the word embracing. I don't think that's the right word. I think the word is being forced to accept.
Settle. It's settling. It's settling for it.
For shit.
Yes. Now, wait, hold
Because
on a
all you're
second.
giving me is shit.
What's happening is the market's starting to shift more to like not the unit itself, but the square footage and how much square foot you could occupy, and then basing the size of the units that they build or subdivide into, because they're definitely going to. Well, okay, this happened. Now, I don't know if you remember, speaking about living in Brooklyn. Well, what you got in Brooklyn is a lot of houses that were one house, and then they turned it into 2 houses. And then after turning it into 2 houses, those each individual houses that are now individual houses but are still attached by a demising wall is busted in to 2 apartments. You got an upstairs apartment, a downstairs apartment, upstairs apartment, a downstairs apartment, in both respective houses that used to be one house. Then, a generation later, the attic gets turned into a fucking apartment, and then the other house decides to turn their attic into an apartment, and then subsequently decide to turn their basements into an apartment, and then have 4 apartments in something that used to originally be one house.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is sort of what's happening. So they're preemptively building these units and these small homes to accommodate for the demand of somebody who doesn't want to pay $500,000 for a house and still wants to own a house.
But the problem is,
or an apartment,
the price
or a
of
condo.
housing. It's not you don't fix the problem by making things smaller and more inconvenient. Because also, then I think another problem is it's not, the world isn't like it used to be, where it's the nuclear family. It's not. That's not. First off, that saying is outdated. But
because we're in a. I mean, what would you call us? Not nuclear. Okay, because that's nuclear. So what would you call us? Would you call us
the social media family?
The UFP family, the alien spacecraft family,
the UFP family. I can't talk.
The Idiocracy family.
So I thought this was a funny article. Martha Stewart is being slammed. I don't know who's slamming her for using
this. I love this for a lot of reasons.
Using a small iceberg to chill her cocktails during a cruise to Greenland. So,
it's pretty gangster. I'm just saying it's sort of gangster. That's a maneuver, because she wasn't on like a cruise ship. She was on like a sick yacht.
The internet is dragging Martha Stewart for using a small iceberg to chill her cocktails on a cruise. Stewart revealed the strange ingredient. This is not real news. Who gives a shit?
Nobody gives a shit.
Who's offended? Who's offended?
Listen,
but the Titanic is how long ago?
There's so many reasons to not pay attention to this, and I'll give this to you, and I'll give it to you.
And that's why we for What a World to, like, this is.
Yeah, why are we doing this?
This is why we do it.
I'll give you several reasons why to not pay attention to this. Reason number 1, right? She already did her time. Leave her the fuck alone. She fucking answered for crimes that you yourself would have committed if you fucking had an inside fucking like tip on a fucking stock. So don't fucking tell me that you wouldn't try to snatch on the fucking moment, and then you're in the spotlight, so you got fucking sort of you. Not only that, hold on a second. Wait. I'm going to tell you this, why you shouldn't care. Another one. If the ice is melting, why just let it go to waste? If you're trying to conserve of whatever good that ice is going to do to this planet, let it chill something. The only thing that it's good for doing is cooling down. So why don't you just put something that you would like to be the cold transferred into it so that cold lives forever? Number 3, if you're fucking in the middle of the ocean and you're a billionaire and you don't have ice, or you want to try to save a couple of thousand million on ice. We have it right here. So actually, it's a pragmatic, it's a fucking forward-thinking rich person who's using the resource that's there that is going to dwindle into nothing if nobody uses it at all. Why not use the melting ice if the polar caps are melting for something positive instead of it just adding to the negative?
Or get it before it's gone.
If we use that ice to chill our drinks, it'll slow down global warming. Who's to say that that's not a fucking thing? Why hasn't anybody looked into that? Why hasn't anybody looked into that? Well, we don't think that's how it works because we don't know if that's how it works.
You want to laugh? That's what's even funnier about this whole thing. So I didn't know what people were outraged about. I didn't read the article. I only read the headline, and I'm thinking, are people upset because she used the term iceberg in green on a yacht, and it's like you're the Titanic, so it's like too soon for the Titanic to talk about iceberg or something.
That's
what?
why they're mad. I thought it was conservationists. I thought
it is. See, I was wrong. I'm the idiot here. I'm the dipshit. I'm like, I didn't. But it's so stupid that you should be upset because it's like I'm reading some of the comments they made to her. They're like, hold on, where'd it go? I love you, girl, but I don't know if you heard. There's an iceberg shortage. Is there really an iceberg shortage? Is there an iceberg shortage? Is that no?
I think the simple way to explain it is that we're running out of icebergs. So it's just to the layman, it sounds like we're running out of icebergs.
Martha, the ice caps are melting. Don't put them in your drink. No, but
okay. Do you know what might be actually?
It's not.
From a scientific perspective, do you know what might actually be bad? If there's some sort of like bacterium or something that's been preserved in the ice that you put in your drink. If she's putting it in her drink, that could be dangerous. I'm just saying, Mike, honestly, like this, look this up if you want to look up the science. This could be true. Like there are maybe pathogens or something that's frozen in the
frozen bacteria. Yep.
Frozen bacteria. Whatever could be just trapped in the ocean that just froze up there in the Arctic that you put in your drink. Yes, I think that could be dangerous. But if you're just keeping your fucking Ace of Spades or your fucking Moët like nice and ice, just who's to say you can't put a couple bottles of champagne on an iceberg while you're passing by? You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
you say iceberg, I say iceberg. That's all I'm saying.
Wow, iceberg.
It's they're not always destructive. They're not always going to take your boat down. You could just rest a bottle of alcohol on it. Nothing says America like putting a bottle of liquor on an iceberg in Greenland, because Trump almost buy Greenland? Wasn't that like a thing?
Did he say that? Didn't he? I think he did. I think he did say some nonsense about, just buy Greenland.
Dude, maybe Martha Stewart's gonna fucking buy Greenland and just like store her wine fucking collection there. Like she's just like, I'm gonna buy Greenland just to keep my wine there. Ice cold.
She's gotta put it somewhere, right? What is this? I love when the ad blockers. Yeah, she hangs out with Snoop Dogg.
She seems chill. She smokes weed. She's like in her 70s. You know what I mean? She's sort of like the home decor Willie Nelson, you know? Like she's got like a chill about her that's,
Yeah, I mean,
like
you ever see the show, the cooking show?
Have.
She did a cooking show with Snoop Dogg.
I have actually cooked things that she had given me through said medium, the recipe. And pretty good. And she's got those home tips back in the day, dude. Let me just say this. I moved out of my house when I was a young man 3 weeks after 9/11 for many reasons, but Martha Stewart was a big thing back then. And to be quite honest with you, you could eat like a pimp sometimes on a budge. On a budge. Bachelor, 2001. You could eat like a king. You know what I mean? If you cook things a certain way. And she taught me how.
So
she taught
the
me
only thing Martha Stewart
to manage my kitchen.
The only thing Martha Stewart has ever taught me was, you know how when you have a fitted sheet and it's not, you can't fold it properly because it's not a right shape. he had a video on how to make it a perfect shape so it becomes a square. So
Yes.
she helped me. However, I was never able to do it the way she did it. It was never
No,
a perfect square.
But it was still better. It was still better if you were to wing it on your own. Not only that, dude. Like, I mean, there was a lot of fucking things, dude. She taught me how to chop a pillow, a throw pillow.
Wow.
I didn't know that it needed to be formed. I just thought you throw the pillow. I didn't know that you had to chop the pillow. They should just start calling them chop pillows because that's now I'm addicted. Now I see a fucking pillow on a couch and like fucking karate time.
Wow.
We chop pillows all day long for Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, leave Martha Stewart alone. Listen, fuck Britney. Britney's wild. She's loose. Britney's fucking just out there.
Yo, I used to think that people like you and I had zero chance. And now I am confident people like you and I have 100% chance.
We could pull Britney Spears right now?
Hold
you
on.
think we could pull Britney Spears? You might be right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, really, it's really who the fuck wants to deal with that shit at this point? That's where that's at right now.
Where'd it go? I saw an article that the husband left her because she slept with like the cleaning guy or something. So that's why I'm 100% confident now.
She fuck whoever. Yo,
that we have a chance.
Yo, what if that would be a great movie? That would be a great movie. Okay, do you know the new house party? Do you know what the premise is?
No, please don't tell me they're gonna fuck up that movie.
The premise is somebody somehow through their job gains entrance to LeBron James's home, and he's away, and he throws a house party at LeBron James's house. Did it come out already? I don't know if it came out yet, but that's what it was. It might be coming out. Hold on, Mike. While you're looking it up, let me also. What if there was a movie and the plot was to break into Britney Spears' house, right? Like somebody has a crush on her and it's like, I'm going to marry her. Now's the time. She's going to be my girlfriend. We're going to break into her house. I'm going to convince her to be my girlfriend. And it's disaster. It's like that movie. Do you ever see that movie Fanboys about the people who break into George Lucas's house?
Yes. Great movie.
Be about Britney. It could be like that, but be about Britney Spears. But it's like when Mike Tyson shows up in The Hangover, right? And Britney Spears is like the Tasmanian devil. And you understand what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting? And there's like, what the fuck did we do? And it's just like, that would be a great movie. I would watch that movie. But Britney would have to be in it and play along with the crazy.
Hiddleston said maybe he was a hot house cleaner. Now, in my brain, the guy looked like this. Okay.
Hiddleston. The hot house cleaner thing is a genre definitely in porn. We all know that. I'm sure that could be a thing, especially if you're somebody for money. You might have a better looking housekeeper because you might ask for one, especially like a male. You know what I mean? Like specifically. So it seems a little premeditated, if you ask me. But I'm sure that you can definitely.
I think she's a mess. And the guy was like, and it doesn't say he was a house cleaner. Sorry, it was a house staff member.
So is Arnold Schwarzenegger not a mess for siring a child with his maid?
Okay. The problem I had with that too is
kid
wasn't even hot.
Kid
wasn't even like attractive.
Kid looks like fucking. I don't know. Like I was trying to make up a like put Latino or Hispanic into Schwarzenegger, and you can't do it. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger Latino, like you can't do that shit. Could you do it? Could you make one up? But anyway, that kid looks just like him. I mean, his other son looks like him too, but looks like a slim Schwarzenegger. But the one that he had with the hired help definitely.
Which one
is
it Joseph?
Jacked.
Is it Joseph?
There's one that's an actor, one that I've seen in like a couple of movies, and then there's the one that he had with the maid, and he's like sort of like on the larger side, like
Christopher
built. Maybe I have no idea. I don't think he has his last name, dude. This is like he was sired while he was still with Maria Shriver.
So he has like 4 children or 5 children. He has Joseph, Dana, Catherine Schwarzenegger, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Christopher Schwarzenegger, and Christina Schwarzenegger. So I'm guessing it's Joseph. Is the
Probably
one
Joseph. Joseph
and
might
he's
be.
a tanner than the rest of them.
Yeah. He doesn't have to spend that.
Jacked. He's jacked.
He's jacked. He doesn't spend any time in the sun. And the other ones spend time in the sun. So he is tanner just by default. But he's jacked. He won in that department.
Jacked. That's fucked up. His brothers and sisters don't talk to him. He's extremely close with his father.
With Arnold.
Yeah. But his brothers and sisters from the wife don't talk to him.
Dude, you're talking to an Arnold fan. I'm sorry, I'd have to be Team Arnold, dude. The Governor, dude.
I'm saying Arnold's not the problem here. Arnold is with the kid, all of the kids.
Happened? But you gotta make you think, right? Like, what the fuck happened that made them like not because
he cheated on their mother. I mean, that's a fucking big deal, you know.
Wait, so none of the Shriver kids talk to the Schwarzenegger brother, but Arnold is close with the Schwarzenegger with
all of them. We never finished this. I don't know if we should finish this, but we only got a minute in. Let's see what the nannies do.
Shaking. Your hands are shaking.
Yes. Her hands are shaking because if this was a real scenario, she's fucking dead.
He should just slap her, just like wake her up, like, this is really happening. Protect the baby. And he's just he really hits her once, like gives her one good clap.
I'm gonna have to cut this now to add it to when we first started watching it, so it becomes one solid clip.
In the career they've chosen,
oh my God, she's dead.
A lot of them,
she's dead.
Don't realize what they're capable of.
He's dead too. I'll kill this fucking guy.
But after
you're wearing a Taekwondo shirt.
He's got a fat neck. Yeah, Taekwondo. No,
getting them into this, they really do come out of themselves.
That was a bad kick.
It takes 4 years to become a.
The thing is, though, if you're fighting someone that's not, they're more nervous about what they're doing than whatnot, you can easily kick them in the balls, which that kick probably would have worked. But if they'd done it before and they're professional at stealing children, you might have a little issue with your.
And it's not only form; it's just they're stiff. They look like they're brand new.
Norland nanny, 3 years of study followed by a year's placements with a family. And it's more expensive than studying at Oxford or Cambridge University. But the idea is that their qualification will soon start paying.
I feel like if you really want to protect the children, this room needs to be filled with like diesel bodybuilders. Like they should be seen like,
dude. Okay. I wanted to bring this up. I think I may have brought it up on another podcast, but I've recently finished the American Gladiators documentary on Netflix, and it was very enlightening to. Okay, now I know I sent you a WNBA video recently, but I digress.
Yeah.
In contrast, American Gladiators, if you could get those motherfuckers to be nannies, you know. Like, that's who I should be seeing. I should be seeing, like, maybe, all right, she's definitely a powerlifter. She looks like a powerlifter. All right, she definitely does, like, boxing of some sort or some sort of, like, cardio, like, martial arts. All right, this one maybe runs track, but she's lanky, so maybe she's got fighting skills. Like, but let's see. Like, there's got to be some sort of a – and listen, it's the firefighter fucking argument. It's the firefighter argument. Yes, we want a mother nurturing kind of like person to take care of our kid, but we want them to kick ass. Maybe they should be like, I don't know, like China.
Let's be real. If all of these women had weapons training and then nanny training, the kids would be safe.
Israeli army chicks.
Forget how to throw an elbow.
Chicks. Mike,
how to pull out a 9mm in close range and pop someone twice in the chest.
Mike. We should right now. You should look up Israeli army or women of the Israeli army or ladies of the Israeli, because these are the people who should be the nannies. I can't deal with this polite British bullshit. I'm sorry. We have to have some Krav Maga fucking Israeli army fucking like Valkyries.
Women
There you go.
have been an
I
integral
found a good
part
word.
of the Israeli military.
All right, so this is in reference to the nannies. So if you really want to protect them kids, this is who you hire as a nanny.
This is
or
who you
these.
hire. This is who you hire.
Women have been an integral part of the Israeli military, the IDF, since it was established more than 70 years.
And she's adorable. Sorry, I had to. I mean,
did I have ulterior motives, Mike? I don't know, but like for real, they kick ass. Look at the weaponry. Look at the weaponry.
Main counterparts, there is
That's what I'm saying.
a mandatory military conscription for women. For many years, women were, however, confined almost entirely to non-combat positions, a reality that has been changing. More and more women engage in combat units. Nowhere is it more visible than in the mixed Caracal battalion.
She has 4.
Men and women serve together.
I think it's the best service I could had because always the army was a part of my life. And when I get to 18,
Jew broads, Mike. Jew broads.
Wow.
Just saying.
without
saying.
even thinking and without even asking my mom.
Like if I had to shoot at this woman in war, I don't want to shoot her, and I'm gonna die because I said that because I hesitated. God damn it! They're winning the war already. It didn't even start.
I go to Caracal.
She goes to what? What was that word? Because that sounded
Caracal.
sexual.
Caracal.
Caracal was established nearly 15 years ago, but given the initial skepticism within the army as to the abilities of the women
ARs, all American weapons.
I'm so dead.
combat soldiers, they were mostly placed in areas
No one's kidnapping these kids if these are the nannies.
seen as relatively quiet at the time, such as the Jordanian and Egyptian borders. But 6 years ago, one event gave the feeling that it may be time to think differently.
Where's the women? I don't care about this anymore. What happened to the women? Is it not about women anymore?
Exactly. The military
Oh, there's some
right
women.
here at any given second. And as far as they're concerned, this is exactly the military service they dreamed about.
It's amazing. I never thought that I could be part of these situations and difficult situations. But it's, I think, the best thing I could ever.
I would have much rather have them do this in Israeli and just give me subtitles.
Oh, in
Because-
Hebrew? Yeah. I mean,
Yes, Hebrew.
I
sorry,
mean,
Israeli, Hebrew.
it's charming to see somebody try to speak English. Listen, this is the thing. Like it's like they are very like sort of would be like for a child to be reared. Like if you want somebody who's gonna kick ass, like they seem still like sort of soft motherly figures, but that could like
Fucking murder
still
you.
kick your ass. Or have at least some sort of training to do so.
Fucking murder you. I had 2 more things I was going to bring up, but I don't think I'm going to. So, quickly, funny story. Have you heard of BRICS?
Have I heard of?
Organization
Okay,
BRICS,
I don't know.
BRICS.
That's tickling my ears.
Okay,
Maybe.
so it's a group of countries, including India, China,
Yes,
South
yes,
Africa.
yes,
they want to
yes,
break
yes.
away from the dollar and all
Yes.
this nonsense.
And like a whole separate world market,
Yes,
right?
yes. So they had a meeting, a very big meeting, and they sat down to discuss it. And what they managed to do is accomplish literally nothing at all. You know why?
Because nobody gets along, just in general.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Yeah.
With no new currency and all 5 members issuing differing and contradictory commentary on the de-dollarization. They want to get
Mike,
rid of the dollar. They just don't want to agree on anything.
That's what happens with democracy. They tried it, and they're like, it doesn't work for them, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, Well, we're not going to
Aren't
agree.
they already in the UN? Aren't
This
they
is the
already?
thing, Mike, because they're all individually like, well, in my country, I'll just make everybody believe me. They'll just listen to what I say. But this guy does not want to listen to what I say.
Yeah,
what do I do?
Got worried when I heard about that happening. I got worried.
Do I negotiate? No, but this is the thing. You think that there's going to be, for a second, you think that there's going to be Spider-Man reference. Spider-Man. You see him? Spidey?
Yep. He's
Spider-Man.
all the way up there.
He's all the way up there.
I can't find
Spider-Man reference. Sinister Six, right? When all the bad guys come and mold together.
I see him
Spider-Man. Now. Yeah, Spider-Man. He's hanging from the ceiling, as he should. And, like, they banded together, the bad guys. Like, you know, the Goblin, Octopus, Lizard, like, fucking Rhino. They're all, like, the Shocker. Everybody's like, oh, let's be friends.
Ass.
You know, well, not only the movie, but I'm just saying, like, the story arc that was,
I know.
like started back in the 60s, 70s, and they redid it mad times. Sinister Six has come back in so many different iterations, not even funny cartoons, movies, comic books over and over again, in different versions and different universes and all that shit. Anyway, so you think that. You think India's froggy. They got nukes. They got nukes, bro. They tested nukes. You pull this up right now. India has tested nukes, I think, at least 50 to 100 times. I know Russia, China, and the United States. China's definitely close to 1,000. United States and Russia are in the thousands of nuclear tests, I think. Like, they are a nuclear power. India is, and so is China. And South Africa has money. Like, for Africa, they have money. You know, like, I think it's like South Africa, Egypt. I think Nigeria is moving up in the economy. Kenya. Like, there's countries that are sort of like you know, vying for that.
India has been testing nukes since the 70s.
Yeah, and how many are they up there? In the 50s of tests? How many tests overall? All-time tests.
All-time
nukes. All-time nukes. All-time nukes.
I always see like fives. It's five, not fives. Five.
They have five. So where's China, Russia, United States? Other people have tested too. I know France has. Britain has. Australia has. Australia's handful, definitely. France has definitely. I don't know how many times. England has definitely. I don't know how many times. But definitely, like, the United States and Russia are the two that are up there, and then China next, and then India.
See. Countries with nuclear weapons. It's not actually a lot of countries.
But India is one of them.
So, United States has roughly 5,200 nukes.
But how many tests have we done?
A lot. I'm just going based off. I'm just looking at the amounts right now.
But
so
India
the United States has 5,200.
Yeah.
The United Kingdom has 225. France has 290. Israel has 90. Pakistan has 170. India has 164. China has 410. North Korea has 30. And what's scary is North Korea has the least amount, but that's still enough to basically cause the end of the world.
Can I say this, Mike?
Oh, and Russia?
Like, follow this.
6,000.
Before you say Russia has 6,000,
yes.
More than the United States, right?
Yes.
So follow me on this. Russia does. I was just about to bring this up because I didn't want to interrupt you, but I think maybe I should have. But anyway. So I knew Russia had more than us, but the United States has influence on more nukes than what Russia has. You know that, right?
Well, let's see.
Who's our allies?
Right?
Who are our allies? Include us and the allied countries. Why do they have nukes? You don't think if England was like, we're going to shoot a nuke, or France is like, we're going to shoot a nuke, that we wouldn't already be on that bandwagon?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying even look. So United States is 5,200. That's 5,200. United Kingdom has 225. So just do an estimate. That's 5,500 now.
55.
Just go high. Just go high. 5,500.
55.
France has 290. Make it average of 300. So
5,500. 58.
Israel has 90.
58. So almost 6,000.
5890. Say 5890.
All right. 5,590.
Which one's our ally? Pakistan or India? Because I think one of them is ours and one of them isn't.
Yeah. India. I don't know. They're meeting with China.
That's another 200. Say roughly 200. So that's
okay.
Say that gets now to 6,000.
Yes. We're still just under fucking
Russia has
no
6,000.
Aussies. The Aussies don't have nukes.
No.
Who else
Russia's
has-
allied with China. That's 6,400. Russia's allied with North Korea. That's 6,430.
But they're not really allied with China. They're still sort of like, they have a friction. Do you know that there is just as much Western friction, West-East friction with Russia and China as there is with the United States and China? Like they have their own fucking shit too. Like the only thing that they've ever had in common, really 100% have had in common, not much culturally, even though Russia has more landmass in Asia than China does. And not people, right? But landmass. And cultural influence is more diverse. But they still have a deeply Western culture that the regime is under, and has been. Even back during the fucking Tsars and shit, and the Cossacks and all that shit. Like, there's still like a culture clash, and they also don't agree on everything as well. Like obviously, it's proven that other countries are just not going to be like okay on shit.
No, well, they're buddy, but they're not like
you need a world war to really meld countries together. Because the reason why we're friends with France and England is because of World War I and World War II, and also like War of 1812.
So
History.
What Ryan is actually trying to say is that he wants to start World War III. What's going on here?
I want to say that our podcast
World War
is
III
on Wednesdays and
I
want to say
Sundays.
that our 9 o'clock.
But we're also going to be missing
is
2 episodes.
on Wednesdays.
Get that.
I want to say that.
So 2 weeks, but I'll play a
9 o'clock.
replay. But we're also going to be missing on Sunday and Wednesday. I'll
Wednesdays.
replay episodes.
I want to say that.
I might do a replay from our old stuff. But we're also going to be missing on Sunday and Wednesday. I'll replay episodes.
I want to say that.
I might do a replay from our old stuff. But we're also going to be missing on Sunday and Wednesday.